Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're going to talk about Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, the recent movie. Spoilers ahead, full spoilers ahead. It's in theaters. If you have not watched it, please come back later. Here we go. You know, me and Won-Jin almost wanted to title this one, You Know That I Know That You Know. And you know, because there's a lot of that from Scorsese movies, right? Especially in the Mafia movies. But if you don't mind, let me go first, Won-Jin.
Okay.
Like, you know, oddly, this one feels, this has every Scorsese element and just a little bit more that I think makes it very unique among Scorsese movies. I have three reasons for that. One is, it's the least dialogue heavy. You know, there's no narration. Like, there's a lot of just beautiful film work and acting with very, like, minimalist dialogue almost sometimes that has to convey a ton of meaning. And also, number two, the mood is so stifling and beautiful. And there's something creepy and lingering going on throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Very slowly. Like with the owl and the way people stare at you. But it's just done in such a masterful way. And third, I would say this is Scorsese's most patient movie. You know, it's so purposefully slow that it's not boring. There's always something going on. Whether a look or something said. You know, especially, like, one of the best scenes was, and I almost feel like it's also Irishman 2.0 too, though, in the fact that both star a protagonist that is seemingly simple-minded, but is he really? Because we don't get into their head. Plus, you know, you could say that he's manipulated, but how much is manipulation and how much is he complicit? You know, it's almost like I was watching a real-life thing where I think most, like, in real-life event, that's how people really fall into authority. Not really thinking about evil or good, but mostly it's about family or some goal. And it was such a great drama that way.
You know, I agree. And I also love to see, like, how Martin Scorsese's storytelling has evolved throughout the years, because I remember, I think the oldest movie of him I watched was, you know, Taxi Driver and Mean Streets. And if you watch, like, modern Scorsese movies like The Irishman, and if you go back to the old ones, you can kind of see, like, the root of all where this all started. And like you said, it's very purposefully slow, but the amazing thing is, although it's purposefully slow, it doesn't really bore you at any point. For me, the experience throughout the 3.5 hours of the movie was very immersive, and it almost felt like I was reading a novel. You know, I could see as the story progressed, like, clearly where the chapters end and where it begins.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I really liked it, and I love how he picked out. I think this is also based on true events of the Osage Indians.
Yeah. It's a nonfiction book that he made it to this.
And I love the fact that he chose to tell stories about this, because to me it was very fascinating. I was not really educated about the Native Americans and their history. I mean, I know about the Comanches thanks to your book, The Empire of the Summer Moon.
We highly recommend it.
Yeah, that was a good book. But I didn't really know that there were, like, oil-rich Native Americans. I had no idea.
And another thing is, first of all, I agree with you that there are a lot of themes here that permeate Scorsese's whole movie, which is Catholicism, sin, family, and there's always a snitch at the end. No, but this one is unique in that there's very little, like, religious element. There's very little religious element. And there's this Native American element and a woman protagonist.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, Scorsese movies have powerful women in them. Don't get us wrong, especially in Departed.
Yeah.
You know, psychiatrist plays a very key role. But here, you could argue that she, the funny thing is, both DiCaprio and her, you could argue that is a stand-in for us too, because we get their POV. Yeah. Their two POVs very center, and Molly's POV is arguably more important because you know how much do you know, and then she's looking at her husband, and one of the most like frightening line. It's so funny that like the usually witty dialogue of Scorsese is not here. Simple dialogue is scary. She says, "You'll be next." Like up to that point, like if you're an audience like us, you're like, how much does she know? And like, because another scene that made me question Leonardo DiCaprio's character's like cognitive ability is there's this great scene about power. He walks in, and his brother and King is just like, put your hand up. And then they just suddenly like beat his ass. Like
they spank him.
Yeah, they spank him
with a paddle.
Yeah, it's one of those creepy power moments. And DiCaprio's face acting is so good because part of it is like he's also confused about what's going on, but he has to submit to it for some reason. And one of the stifling thing of this is why it's different from Henry Hill, because Henry Hill is talking all the time.
Yeah, and the narration is coming from him.
Yeah, and him becoming an informant, there's a more direct reason. He's about to get killed. But here it's a little different.
Yeah.
There are callbacks to those old mafia movies, because one of the great scenes that is like a mafia movie is where like the lawyer convinces him to played very well by Fraser, by the way. He really played the piece of shit lawyer really well. And then he brings all his uncle's friends, all his rich friends that we suspected were piece of shits.
It kind of felt like a mafia intervention.
Yeah.
It's like, you are getting out of control. You're about to become a rat, so we have to intervene.
No, but the weirdest thing is there's the least amount of curse word in a Scorsese movie ever in this movie. But it's unsaid. And I thought that was really authentic, because in real life, like Hollywood always condenses to 2 hours, right? But in reality, someone betraying their country or things are usually there are like less dramatic days up to that point.
Yeah.
And 1,000 different motivations. And here I think the movie is long to touch on that.
Yeah. And it's only after it happens that you look back, you kind of realize that you were pushed into it.
Yeah, but I agree with you, but that's also interpretation, because the question mark lingers because we really don't know how much DiCaprio, like we don't get inside his head.
Yeah,
we don't know his moral conflict.
We don't know his motives or intentions. And like you say, I love the ambiguity of the entire thing. They're so ambiguous, DiCaprio and also Molly. It's very up until the very end. Yeah, it's very ambiguous. Like, how far are they aware of this, or do they not know about this? Do they know about this and they just choose to just let it happen? What's going on? But the movie doesn't give us any direct answer to it.
But the movie does give us indirect answers, though, because like, you know how one of the greatest example is where every time a Native American dies, the funeral becomes smaller and smaller. Near the end, I think it was almost like only Molly standing.
Yeah.
And the camera work is so great because she kind of conveys a defeatism too, like a helplessness. And I think one of the thing was, let me ask you this: do you think she loved DiCaprio's character?
I think she did, or maybe she wanted to believe that she did.
Yeah, that's another great part about this is,
and the same goes for DiCaprio.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, cause even in the beginning, this movie is very smart. It almost reminds me of the Shutter Island one.
Oh yes.
Because actually, this one is like a perfect mix of mafia movie and Shutter Island because see, remember the first scene?
But less psychotic.
Yeah. Okay, Shutter Island. We recommend it though. You could argue that it's one of those oddballs one for.
Oh, we got to be careful because we might spoil Shutter Island for the audience.
No, but even in the beginning, how DiCaprio character like falls in love with Molly is also left ambiguous because we think he likes her, but he also hears from his uncle about the money.
Yeah.
And also, the DiCaprio is like, I love money. He keeps saying it. And, you know, there's a great scene with Molly and the sister saying, oh, that coyote, he's after money, right? And then she kind of says, they all are.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this realism and romanticism mixed together really well. And it was, and even the big question for me is the insulin medicine. Like, DiCaprio, I felt like he knew, but he wanted to refuse because his wife needed the medicine, and it was this mixture of emotions for him.
Yeah. And that's why I like the scene where he tries a few drops in his own drink.
Yeah.
And then he goes on this like trip.
And another thing was this story is intended to fuck with our head. You know why? Scorsese is brilliant like that. Because just before he snitches, the kid dies. So we're like, oh, did that cause him to change his mind? Or did he never give a fuck? Or what the fuck is going on? So this movie is like one of those great clusterfucks that opens itself for interpretation.
Yeah.
That's why I think this is better than Irishman 2.0, because Irishman also had that. But I think the problem with Irishman was the difference between this one and Irishman is, I think, we're not familiar with this part of story.
Yeah.
But the problem with Irishman is
it's so famous.
There's this Jimmy Hoffa, and then because they're similar there too. Because there's both one stars a benign old man that you could argue is evil. Because even the Irishman one, you could argue that Buffalino is evil.
Yeah.
Because he makes him go kill Hoffa. Like, it's a gentler one even. And the family value there is even more pronounced. They're literally called a family.
Yeah.
So it's almost like but this one I felt like is an upgrade because just the eeriness of it too. This one, like, one of the disturbing scenes is like when Molly has her monologue. I hate, and then all these white people are looking at her, but her acting is great because she conveys dignity and vulnerability at the same time. You know, because she is vulnerable.
Yeah.
These are all fucking coyotes. And man.
And I love the way Martin Scorsese weaved the story into it so well. And he kind of gently hints at like what was going on at the time. You know how Molly goes for help in Washington, and then we realize that the president eventually sends a federal agent to look after this. But through the dialogue, we kind of learned that they didn't just send the federal agents just because they're concerned about them. They paid $20,000 for them to be there. Yeah, and those dialogues I think were really smart without being too intrusive. It gives us like the historical background, and we kind of get to empathize with the Native Americans a little more.
Yeah, I even love the Native American like undercover guy. Yeah, that was really good. And
I mean, like the moment he showed up on this guy, I just instantly knew, man, this guy's a federal agent. Like, new face. And he just showed up right there. And the courtroom drama, like, it was the most sombering of all of Scorsese's courtroom drama too. Like, because the funny thing is, it's like an extended version of Henry Hill's monologue. Because the camera is dead on DiCaprio. You know that? Yeah.
We don't even... The camera doesn't even pan to the lawyer. I think it does once. And it's DiCaprio acting, having to carry out saying yes. 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 And only Molly gets the shot too. Yeah. So those two's... Like, they are the POV characters, like, throughout.
And with such a close-up, DiCaprio does a brilliant job at the acting. And we've seen this in Shutter Island. If you see Shutter Island, you're going to see some brilliant acting.
No, but this
brilliant
one...
performance from DiCaprio.
I think DiCaprio just has this, like, you know what? Now that he's older, he just has this, like, timeless face. I can't tell if he's a boy or a man. Like, when he had 3 kids, I believe that shit. And he does such a... I think he got some cue from De Niro, because De Niro also make this weird face to make him seem more Irish and Irishman. And here, like, DiCaprio keep doing this. Like this grumpy face. And even the racist element was, like... I love the racist element too, because it's never like there is one scene where it's kind of spoken out loud, but it's not really about racism too. It's one factor of it. There's something like, and De Niro is so good at like his face acting, because like you could tell like he was the villain because of the camera work. He looks at you like this, like he doesn't even say anything. The camera is on. We know that he's looking like that, and he's all pretending nice. But there's this like always this like 7 shot. He's like looking like this. Like you're like, yeah, he's scheming. He's scheming something. Yeah. And he plays this manipulator really well.
Yeah, and I think I like his character because unlike De Niro, we can kind of tell that he is in this deadlock between like trying to be a decent person and yet still doing all those malicious things.
You mean DiCaprio's character?
Yeah, DiCaprio's character. And because that's like all of us. You know, when we're tempted, we know something's wrong, yet we still do it, but deep inside we believe we're still good people. And you know, like the way he lied to Molly at the very end, and the hypocrisy, I thought that character was really, really interesting, because I thought I was kind of like looking into a mirror, because that's the way our mind works, or at least maybe my mind.
And one of the great thing is Molly becomes more important, because I almost felt like near the end she was the embodiment of her entire family, the last, literally the last man standing, because her mother already conveyed that owl thing. Yeah. And then her sisters die. Like, you can tell she's an intelligent woman. And she just, I think she is also in this, like, I think we have to look at it in a 1920s view, too, about woman and man. You know, it's different. You know, they thought women were dumber back then, literally. So, you know, she's helpless, but she's not, and that's why she and DiCaprio's character mirror each other too. Because I'm not sure DiCaprio was happy either. You know, it's a question mark. And no, but De Niro's character reminded me a lot of Goodfellas. Paul, because there's this fatherly element. There's this authoritative element. And to a mafia, he's not doing anything wrong, right? To him, it makes perfect sense. So that's why I feel like this one was a removal from the Catholic element that pervades a lot of Scorsese movie. It's more of something more fundamental, even. Something going on that's more tribal.
Yeah, because imagine watching this movie on mute. And you don't hear any dialogues. Most people wouldn't suspect that De Niro is a bad guy.
You think so, though?
Yeah, because I mean, in every scene, I mean, his interactions with the Native Americans, you can see that he seems like a kind spirit. Well, but
I disagree, because like within the first 30 minutes, doesn't he keep telling her to drink the medicine and like drink, and then like,
but you can see from his face that he kind of looks concerned about it.
No, Won-Jin, let me tell you something. No one is that nice. All right, fuck you. You're wrong. As soon as he kept asking her, like, I was like, you fucking asshole. You poisoned that shit. That's what I thought. Does that make me a cynical? Listen, no one is that nice. No one is that nice. But I do like how the secret is revealed in a direct way, because suddenly the camera shifts and we see that it's DiCaprio character beating up on the private investigator. Yeah. We see directly, suddenly out of nowhere, like De Niro's character openly admitting it.
He popped him. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, so like it's violent that way, where it's just thrown in your face. There isn't like, because remember in like Goodfellas and Casino, there's always dun, 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 dun. Like there's this glamour and this dun, 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 dun. There's always this a little bit of build up, but here just boom, here's a dead head, fucking chopped off. Even the murder was brutal in that it was just so matter of fact. Like it was just boom.
It was very dry.
Yeah,
and you know what it reminded me of? It actually some of the scenes
kind of reminded me.
Kind of reminded me of Bone Tomahawk.
Oh yeah,
I was reminded of that. Yeah,
you brought a good book. I want to say this. I was so glad to watch in the theaters, because this one is the least musical out of Scorsese movies too. I could hear just the drop, and there was one time I freaked out. Like just the pin drop or whatever. What's up, ZZ? What's up? Welcome back. One of our most loyal subscribers, Won-Jin will gift the OLED TV once we reach 10,000 subscribers. Yes, this is on record, but he's getting annoyed now because this is like him mentioning Tarantino. I keep bringing up this joke, and his face becomes worse every time. No, but like the silence, the stifling silence, right? The silence is so stifling. Even the last. Like back and forth between DiCaprio and Molly was so patient, so slow. And here's the thing, though. I do think this is an older director's movie because just like Irishman and this movie, there's this element that we know tragedy is going to happen, and we're going there.
Yeah.
You know, and...
Because I think from the very early point in the movie, we deal with death. Because there's that narration of these Native Americans passing away, and there was no police investigation and blah 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 blah. So,
no, but it was done in such a good way where they just do it and then they don't show it for like an hour.
Yeah,
like it's like what? And then they start showing the fucking white man just shooting. And so like here's the thing though. One of the things that was really creepy as fuck was when all the white dudes look at the DiCaprio characters. Like, I thought that just implied everybody. Not just, like, King. He's the kingpin. But every one of those guys were murderers.
They're complicit.
Yeah. Or murderer, because the guy that shoot the baby mother, like, I don't even seen him before.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like this creeping violence. And I think that's how power works. It comes slowly. You know, and I thought it was just one of the most authentic portrayal of like power coming in and taking the weak, corrupting, and there's really nothing the weak can do. Like the Osage people felt so helpless.
Yeah, and I think they knew it.
No, but I loved how they keep gathering the council, like keep doing the meeting.
We're the warriors.
We are warriors. Oh, fuck you. We are with a fight. And then, hey, I want to praise this movie because it's one of the most favorable portrayal of FBIs in recent years.
Oh, that's right.
Well, FBIs are, yeah.
Buy me French fries.
Yeah.
Okay. French fries, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen. Like, FBI usually, in movies, they're, like, nowadays the trend is, there's no good guy, bad guy. So FBIs are usually portrayed as corrupt
usually they're just used as these, like, plot devices. And also in many mafia movies, they're the ones who just come in to, like, ruin everything.
Yeah.
But in this case, you're, like, really relieved when we see Fat Damon.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Knocking on the door.
I was like, thank God there's a federal investigation bureau because the locals can't be trusted. I was like, God damn, God bless this.
Yeah, and I love how like competent they are and yet still like stay so nice and kind.
Yeah.
They were very respectful.
Hey, now that you mentioned Matt Damon, like DiCaprio's acting did remind me a lot of Matt Damon's acting though. Because like, you know, Matt Damon is just a master at playing like this ambiguous character.
Now that you say it, it reminds me a lot of his his role in The Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Departed. Look, DiCaprio was there, but Matt Damon kind of stole the show for me in that movie.
I was talking about Matt Damon in The Departed.
Yeah. No, because DiCaprio was in Departed too, remember? Yeah. But his one was an angry character. Like,
and more of a good guy.
Yeah, but Matt Damon was the daddy issue.
Yeah, Matt Damon was the
can't get his dick up weirdo. So that one was the more like complex character almost. But here, like, it reminded me a lot of Matt Damon level acting. Like, because, you know, DiCaprio is really good at playing these characters that you underestimate. Because, see, he's underestimated, but he brings the whole shit down. Right?
What do you mean? Are you now talking about Fat Damon?
No, I'm talking about
Jesse
DiCaprio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got confused too. Because it's your fault. You mentioned Fat Damon. Please stop calling him that.
His name is Jesse Plemons.
Yes, he's a great actor.
There's a meme because he reminds people of Matt Damon, but, you know, just a little chubbier.
Oh, I wanted your opinion
Fat
too.
Damon.
Like, this movie actually reminded me a lot of Fargo season 2 too.
Oh, you know, I was also thinking about Fargo. Especially season 2 of Fargo because we also deal with Native Americans there.
They're also a mafia family that happens to be German heritage. And there's also a character with ambiguous motivation, the Native American killer.
Yeah.
So this one,
what's his name? I forgot the name, but the enforcer guy.
Yeah. So there was a lot of elements like that. Thank you for the hearts. So this movie, hey man, and out of recent 3-hour movies, including Oppenheimer, including all the other ones that are trying to reach 3 hours, this one was the least boring.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This one was the least boring. It goes to and you mentioned a novel, but I know what you're saying, but I disagree. I think this movie only works because it's cinema. Because there's no dialogue. It's like half of the shit is all quiet and camera and face acting, And every character had some depth. Even Anna, she had self-knowledge. Even when she was drunk, her last line is, "You're here to kill me." So these are not dumb people. Like, you could almost argue, I respected her for carrying a gun. Boom, boom.
My favorite character of all the family of Molly was the mother. Because she was so mystique. She was very reserved. I also love how they made the exit for her.
Yeah.
She was having that dream of, I presume it was her husband when he was young.
Yeah.
And they're taking her, and she was really happy about it. And they're
going to the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was beautiful.
It was a very symbolic moment. And then I love how the camera just cuts, and then we know she's there. We know, and there's a lot of beautiful scenes like that in this movie. The owl freaked me out.
Yeah.
I first thought it was a real owl.
It wouldn't have freaked me out as much if it had stayed on the window frame. But the fact that it's walking into the room, that was kind of creepy.
And then he kept looking at it I didn't know it was so huge. And then he looks at you.
Yeah. I went to this the zoo, and I saw an owl, and its claws were the size of my own hands.
Yeah.
They're big.
Yeah, they're
big.
deadly predators. They're deadly predators. And I like that. Wow. But anyway, wow. Acting. DiCaprio acting on point. Miss Gladstone's acting on point.
I also love, though it was brief, I also love the brother dude. DiCaprio's brother.
He was in The Last of Us.
The Last of Us, yeah, that creepy.
So I knew he was a piece of shit the moment I saw him. He was the most flat character, because when I saw him, I'm like, yep, this guy's a serial killer. Fuck him. This guy's a serial killer. And then, hey man, I disagree. 30 minutes in, you know that De Niro's character's a piece of shit, because you got a henchman, and because even the topic of dialogue, hey, you like girls, you like women, and then there's this he's one of those fake kind guys. Yeah, fake kind guys. And I love the detail too, DiCaprio teeth being fucked up a little, being a little greasy from the wear and tear. Yeah, I like that.
And I also really like the what's his name? Who was the
Which one? The psychopath.
The brother doctors.
Oh.
Yeah, the doctor dudes.
Oh man.
They were creepy.
Yeah, the moment you see them, they're piece of shits too.
And the scene where DiCaprio wanted to administer the drug on his own, and the way they reacted and everything was kind of creepy, because you could feel that they actually wanted to hurt her.
Yeah. There was something there too.
Well, that was quite tense.
No, one funny scene, dark humor, is that guy from The Irishman. He's here, and he's playing another. This is a purebred native, and then he goes to a fucking lawyer and say, "So if these kids die, the lawyer says,
"Lawyers, are you suggesting that you murdered?"
He says, "You're admitting to me that you want to kill them." And then,
it didn't happen.
Yeah, and then he does that big eyeball thing. Hey, he's actually in a lot of different stuff. He's a good actor, but somehow Scorsese thinks of him as a psychopath character or whatever.
Now that we talked about The Departed while talking about this movie, I wish Mark Wahlberg was in this.
Oh man,
I wish he was also one of those the federal agents, the only unnice one.
Oh,
the only disrespectful federal agent. That would have been quite a comic relief in the middle of the movie.
Maybe. No, but I think he's too high profile now. I think he would have sucked the energy out, in Alien Covenant. Who was on it? James Franco was in there, and he kind of sucked it out. But hey, I can't judge, right? Sometimes someone you assume can't play something fantastic, right? So you never know. Maybe you're right. But I thought Jesse Plemons was a great cast.
Yeah.
And because the other agents are also famous actors. They're high caliber actors playing. You know, you could argue like small roles, but it's a Scorsese film. Oh, and let's not forget the fucking epilogue is Scorsese as fuck.
Oh, that's right. He makes that cameo appearance towards the end. And I also love the fact that it was kind of being told to us as a 50s radio show.
Yeah.
That was a great touch.
Yeah. It was like, it was weird, but only Scorsese can pull it off. Like, because if other guys do it, okay, I guess Kubrick can get away with it too, because he does that in Shining. He does some weird shit, and here, like the radio, like I don't know, like it's almost like he's making a commentary about narrative and story, and because he said it in a very sad face how this is the actual story, but so like it's a very simple story, right? I think. What's up? Oh, sorry about that. I keep getting away from the mic, guys. I'm so sorry, but I think it's a way to say, you know how we sometimes casually look at newspaper, oh, someone died, fireman died, and then we forget about it, right? I mean, I guess we don't do that anymore because we don't watch newspaper. But there's always this like one paragraph story, right? But it's almost like that, like because the version that Scorsese in the radio show shows is probably the show that everybody thought they knew. Oh, that happened, but Scorsese is saying like. Truth is sometimes even deeper, sometimes more complex and complicated. I mean, this is just my one interpretation of that. Yeah. So I thought that was his commentary on how like actual human stories are really hard to put into words, and there are 1,000 different subtle motivations, powers, greed. Oh, we forgot to talk about the greed, but this whole movie is about greed. Fucking oil, baby.
Like gold.
Yeah, yeah.
So they say.
Yeah. So I think it worked because it's a film.
Yeah.
It's like the way novels can explain the unexplainable.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And I also love those like showing of Foley artists.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was so smart.
Yeah, and I also love like at the end when they in the epilogue, they tell us about the fates of all these characters, and this guy is in jail for life, and Molly eventually passed away in the 1930s, which also makes you think that they didn't have to do these heinous crimes, because they could have just, gotten married, have a happy life, and she would have eventually passed away anyways.
No, but I think that's a good one because it's about unbridled violence. You know, because if you can do something with impunity, why would you stop, right? I mean, think about it. The moment I knew this shit was going to go wrong is when they blew up that fucking building. I was like, because that's literally the dumbest criminal shit ever. Just because you want to kill two guys, so your solution
is to put a dynamite.
No. Like, see, they mentioned you guys fucked up because you put 10 dynamite. I was like, why would you even put one dynamite, motherfucker? It's in the middle of nowhere. In what? Like, look, listen. It only makes sense if this is like a mining town, I guess. Oh, I guess maybe they should have explained it then, because I felt like if you're gonna kill two people at one time, how about a house fire? How about just go in there, shoot them in, and then set the house on fire? Oh my God, the corpse is burned.
Yeah, and remember the doctors were in it too. They were like searching Anna's brain for the bullet and everything. Man. I mean, there's a lot they could still get away with and make it seem like an accident.
And what I loved about it, I love what you said. The violence was so clinical when they pulled up her head and then it's ripped apart here.
Yeah,
like, you know, I love how it's never overdoes it. You know, this one is one of those subtle, lingering, creepy, mesmerizing movie. Okay, we're praising it too much. How about we shit on it a little too? Do you think it was too long?
Yeah, I think it could have been
10 minutes, 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah, 20 minutes shorter. But I know it's 3 hours and 26 minutes because he thought it was the most appropriate. So I don't think I have any say in this. But if it was gonna stay 3 hours and 26 minutes, I wish they would give us those like bathroom breaks in the middle of in the theater. I think the last time I actually experienced a break time in the middle was watching Kingdom of Heaven. There's that intermission in the middle.
That's the director version.
Yeah, and the audience gets to go to the bathroom and come back.
Yeah.
And because of that, I was not able to drink anything in the theater because I love like eating popcorn and drinking soda and while watching movies. But because I knew it was 3 hours and 26 minutes, I couldn't do it.
You know, maybe Ridley Scott has a weaker bladder than Martin Scorsese. You know, because like Tarantino can go 3 hours. That's a joke. But anyway, hey, listen, let's have another podcast later. We talk about all of Scorsese's movies, something like that.
I think that would be a great one. Now
let's give a number grade.
I would give this movie 9.5 out of 10.
Oh wow, 9.5.
I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I would watch this again. Although it's 3 hours and 26 minutes, and that says a lot because some movies, although they're less than 2 hours, I would never watch again.
I give it a 9. I'm not giving it a 10 because, you know, the problem with grading Scorsese is competing with himself. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, the question becomes, let's say you and I we're stuck in an island, and then God says you can only take 2 DVDs, and there's a TV. Would you choose Goodfellas or Flowers of the Killer Moon? Right? like, wouldn't it be Goodfellas? Don't you think so? Or Departed?
If I have to choose between the two, I would still pick Goodfellas. And
God says it has to be a Scorsese movie. We're not gonna watch Taxi Driver because it's depressing as fuck. No, not really though. So,
and you know, now that you say, I mean, since you said that he's competing with himself, you could tell how great he is from that acceptance speech of Bong Joon-ho in the Academy Awards. I mean, he got the award for the best director. Yeah. And he still got a standing ovation.
Yeah, because I wanted to comment on that. I think I saw something about Scorsese is so charming. Because if a different director did what he did here at the ending, you know, some people will say, narcissist, you know, get the fuck out of your own film. But if it's Scorsese, we're like, fuck yeah. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah.
Or, you know, like Tarantino, again. Yeah. He always plays a cameo in his own movie, but it's a role that you least expect the director would take. Yeah. That's what makes it actually funny.
No, but he doesn't put focus on himself, though, because this one is like, it's almost like, besides what the interpretation I said before, here it's almost like he's saying, like, this could be my last movie.
Oh, that's true.
But I have this feeling that he's gonna make another movie. Just like
I'm pretty sure he's already in the works.
Yeah, Ridley Scott can't stop. I love Ridley Scott.
We're waiting for that Napoleon. That's right, Napoleon, baby.
We love Ridley Scott. Like he's one of those oozy directors. Hell yeah!
I gotta do it myself.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, not for me. But I do feel like I have to watch it again to give it proper. But like after I walked out of the theater, I felt like it was worth the theater visit. But another thing was I did feel like it was better than The Irishman, but it wasn't as magical as his other movies though. Because Casino, when the bomb blows up, and
then that also like continues in the end of the movie.
Yeah, there's something, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
I think he's just having like maybe he's just testing out different ways of telling a story.
Yeah. But this one is definitely an older director's movie, just like Lear. I didn't want to say King Lear again, but like Lear, it's tragic as fuck. But anyway, hey guys, that was our take on Killers of the Flower Moon. We might talk about it again when we talk about Scorsese movies. Yeah. If you have not watched any of Scorsese's movies,
your life is not complete. You have to see them.
Okay. I was going to say it's okay.
No, it is not okay.
Go watch it.
You have to watch a Scorsese
Go watch
movie.
it because we will be talking about some of the movies later because we love mafia films, we love gangster films, we love good films. But anyway, we'll be back after a very short break to talk about Equalizer 3 starring Denzel Washington. Thank you so much. This has been JoeJin's Movie So Awesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
We love you, ZZ, and the other anonymous person. Please leave a comment and a like. Subscribe. We'll see you soon. Bye.
We'll be right back.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
See, we have an intermission.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.